Yeah, I'm hypoglycemic, so if I don't have food when I really start feeling hungry, my blood sugar starts to drop, so I'd like to avoid that. It tends to cause more complications than I really need to deal with, so back to Ognet. I'm probably, again, I apologize, I'm probably mispronouncing that horribly. Alright, loading my game up. And my Area Blue mic hovering in my face over here, but picks up the sound pretty good, so because I gave my video a listen back just to see if the levels were nice and everything, and make sure that everything sounded good, and you know, I liked it better than some of the other stuff that I've been putting out, so my little blue friend up here will stay. At least it's a nice color.
A strangely familiar totem, decorated with a deer skull, had been placed at the edge of the woods, spreading a pungent stench throughout the clearing.
If I'm not mistaken.
As the creature touched the pungent-smelling horn, it crumbled, turning to dust in its hands.
Yeah, that's right, I get dust. Alright. Can't do anything with this yet, if I'm not mistaken. Oop, I got a little friend.
When the creature brought its hand closer to the plant, it suddenly released glowing spores into the air. As they landed on the creature's hand, a strange numbness came over the affected skin. A shadowy figure had begun to follow the pair as they traversed the narrow trail, yet for the moment keeping its distance from the small creature.
Why is it following us?
The creature whispered, while the Alva kept her eyes peeled on the dark shape remaining at their backs.
Alright. Well, Earth makes a whole bunch of little creatures peek up around the corners and stuff. Wire just drips off the end of the tree's nose. Fire makes that glow. And that makes the thunder rumble.
This place has an unsettling feeling to it.
The small creature whispered as they walked through the abandoned encampment.
Why did they leave all of their belongings behind?
I would assume it's because they left in a fucking hurry. Alright, well that looks interactable.
The small creature picked up the smelly haunch of meat.
Tasty. Small tent. Collapsed tent.
Inside the tent, the creature found a thin, slightly bent metal blade.
Alright, collapsed tent.
The creature picked up the cloth canvas, along with the partially corroded iron post.
Okay.
As the creature rustled around in the ashes beneath the coals, it found a sooty horseshoe forged from steel. The dark woods, far too dense to travel through, were slowly encroaching on the clearing.
Alright, so dark and forbidding trees. Alright, you can see the little, yeah. Alright. I know I'm supposed to interact with that tree, that much is clear, but... Alright.
Hello? Would you mind talking to us for a short while?
The ancient tree barely seemed coherent, the lucidity in his eyes fading between each word.
So tired, must not fall asleep. Help!
What should we do? He seems really scared.
The small creature looked at the Alva.
We need to help wake him up.
An ancient tree was standing by itself at the far edge of the encampment. Throughout the land you might sometimes hear rumors of injured woodsmen sheltering themselves beneath an unusually large tree with strange characteristics. As they rest amongst its roots, they claim that the wounds fade away as if they had never been caused. Learning that one may be cured from any ailment by crawling through the tree's roots, many travel from afar to seek relief, but the woodsmen who claim to have found it never seem to recall its exact location within the woods.
Okay, smelling salt, well that wakes things up.
As the creature blew the smelling salt onto the ancient tree, he quickly recovered from his drowsiness.
Thank you.
He exclaimed in a drawn-out fashion, both eyes wide open.
Thank you both. I almost fell asleep, you know, just like my brothers. You mustn't.
The ancient tree's voice turned mellow as he looked out across the campsite.
None of them wanted to talk to me, so I simply remained silent. Suddenly, it almost took me, the glow. Almost, but you made sure it didn't. That would have been bad, very bad indeed.
The ancient tree sighed.
I wish I could repay you, but unless you're in need of herbal knowledge, I'm afraid I can't offer you much in return. If you should happen to find any herbs you would like me to process, I'd be happy to help.
He said before munching enthusiastically.
Although I would need to rinse this horrible taste from my mouth before I could create a proper mixture. If you're in need of my help, could I first trouble you to find me something scrumptious that will restore my taste buds?
Well, I know what I find scrumptious that actually is in our inventory, and we've had them for a while. Blackberries.
Delicious.
The ancient tree exclaimed as he bit into the ripe blackberries.
It's been a long time since I tasted something like this. Good things don't like to grow here anymore, you see. Some beings infect everything they touch.
He muttered.
But no matter, when you need my assistance, come see me again. I should be able to create a proper mixture for you, provided you can find good ingredients in this place.
Yeah, I don't have anything that can help me out here yet. Alright. Did I... Yeah, I actually want that lit. Alright. Alright, I did actually... Excuse me, I did actually do all of that. Okay, guarded passage.
The creature watched the tiny insects skitter across its hand before carefully brushing them off back onto the anthill.
I shall talk to the creepy pig in a minute. Alright, I think...
The ants didn't seem to mind the creature picking up a handful of the leftover straws.
That's something I remember, and it's something that's very hard to see. And the first time I played through this game, I'm not kidding, and I feel stupid afterwards, but I walked around for like an hour before I figured out, oh, there's something else that became interactable on that anthill. And it's because this damn tree right here, it kept blocking my way, so I didn't end up seeing that something had changed here. That critter's, yeah, okay, that critter's gonna drool. Okay. Okay, light that up. Basically, I have to find a few things here. That is supposed to go here. That is supposed to go there, because you can see the little symbols on the walls. You can see the skull here, the Vitorum skin here, and I gotta get a few whatever these are, but I'll be able to identify them later, I'm sure. Oops, sorry. Let's see. Yeah, I have nothing else of use yet. So...
Glowson, vile and repugnant, is a large sow that dwells in the depths of the forest, her battened body covered in razor-sharp thorns. She may appear either as an omen in places about to be visited by great misfortune, or to prey on travelers walking along the forest's edge. As she runs towards her victim, the thorns on her back are said to grow larger, cutting the unlucky traveler in half as she sprints in between their legs. After she has satisfied her gluttonous urges, she returns to guard her home in the darkest part of the woods.
Hello? We don't mean you any harm. Can you help us?
Glowson's red eye followed the creature's movements, her mouth watering in response to the feast presenting itself before her.
Never mind. We will get by somehow.
The creature stuttered as it quickly backed away from the huge beast.
Alright. And a cliff. Oh.
What do you suppose that thing is over there? Do you see it?
The creature asked the Alva, who was leaning forward in an attempt to spot the small object. As they approached it, the Alva's eyes fixed on a particular part of the totem.
Do you like this one?
The creature asked, removing the blunt piece of flint from the totem.
I don't know what happens here, but I'll try anyway.
Wow!
The creature quickly took a step back, surprised by the mangy arm that had suddenly appeared from below the cliff.
Oh my, yes indeed. But I can hear the crackle of thunder. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember. I think... yeah. Oh wait, that's right. There we go.
The creature didn't have any trouble pulling the thin blade from the moist soil.
So that's 2 blades that I have. I can use them to make scissors. Alright, that conjures up the thunder again. Ooh, he doesn't like me now.
As the Draug fled into the woods below, the creature was able to move a bit closer to the cliff's edge. In its escape, a ring had fallen from the Draug's finger, now glimmering in the darkness. The creature held it in its palm while they observed it. It almost appeared as if it had somehow been affected by the power of the sky's lightning, the gem decorating it clearly reflecting the star's light, almost amplifying their glow. The creature marveled at the beautiful plant as it slowly extended its tiny hand to pick it up.
I forgot to, trigger the lore about the Draug, but I think it basically says that if you end up encountering one, you start craving its treasure, and then, after a while you end up becoming one yourself, or something like that. I'm probably remembering it very, very poorly. Alright, that chain becomes relevant later, but... Right. Alright, so that's that weird-ass numbing plant.
With a quick snip of the scissors, the large plant fell down in the creature's hand. As it looked down at the plant, the once strong glow emanating from it was beginning to fade away.
How tragic, but back to the campsite. Alright.
How about these?
The creature asked as it presented the herbs to the tree.
Perfect. These would mix well. One moment, my friends.
The ancient tree cleared his throat before continuing to chew both plants into a thick salve. After chewing for a good while, he continued.
There you are. I hope this will aid you in some way. Be careful with it though. This turned out to be a very potent mixture.
And what pretell do you do with it? Numbing salve. Well, we have to get by a boar. Let's make her numb. You spiked meat.
Here you are. It looks very tasty, doesn't it?
The creature presented the haunch of meat before Glowson's frightening jaws. The gluttonous sow quickly sunk her teeth into the smelly flesh, instantly devouring sinew and bone alike. Not satisfied by the meal, she once more turned her attention towards the small creature fidgeting before her.
Good, wasn't it?
The small creature tried as her jaws opened. Then her expression changed, the hungry mouth turning into a wide yawn as she proceeded to rest her head against the moss-covered stone. As she fell into a deep slumber, the thorns emanating from her body retracted from the clearing. The creature smiled, its hands still trembling.
We're getting close. I can feel it.
All right.
As the pair arrived at the deepest part of the forest, an unnerving silence instilled itself in the clearing. Unbeknownst to them, they had arrived at the Copper Gate, a lost doorway to the oldest of mountains, rumored to contain treasures long since hidden from the eyes of men. As they stood there, the faint wind carried with it soft-spoken whispers in a strange tongue throughout the woods, spreading a sense of unease to plant and animal alike.
I'm sure what we need is somewhere around here. This place used to be filled with great power, remember?
The creature said in an attempt to cheer her up. The Alva smiled half-heartedly for a moment before returning to rest behind the creature's ear.
Ooh,
The creature reached down and picked up the two branches.
And chisel.
The creature reached out with its dainty little hand and pulled out the chisel, almost falling over as it stumbled backwards to regain its balance from the effort.
Okay, this is incomplete, I think.
These statues must mean something.
The creature said to the Alva, who was peeking out from behind its ear to have a look. The creature pulled on the lever with all of its strength, but only the creaking noise of wood grating against wood could be heard.
Okay, that stopped the rain.
As the pair silently beheld the totem, a warm energy began to spread from the boulders surrounding it. The radiant light quickly engulfed the clearing, amplified by the Viton's magical skin.
Alright, there's a few things I remember I need to do around the campsite. See, now that it's stopped raining, I can grab this cracked urn.
The creature lifted the wet urn out of the muddy soil.
Now, this is another thing that, it's like if you remember the copper gate, it's missing a chain, and the only other place where we have seen a chain is where the Draug was chained up. And it took me, this is another thing that took me quite a while to figure out. Longer than it should have, was that you have to start a fire here.
Striking the piece of flint against the horseshoe caused tiny sparks to scatter onto the tinder. As it began to smolder, the creature carefully placed it in the fireplace, igniting the branches.
You have to start a fire, and then you have to heat up a chisel.
As the creature held the chisel amongst the coals, the heat caused it to glow red, retaining the intensity of the fire for a short moment before beginning to lose its warmth.
Okay, so now I have to cut over here. I'll interact with that in a minute. Okay, my hot chisel. And now I have a chain.
Creature held the heated chisel against the base of the chain. The iron slowly began to glow red, allowing it to break the link holding the chain in place.
All right. So now I have my final chain, and I can talk to my little mesmerized friend over here. I don't think he responds.
Hello? Why were you following us?
The creature whispered, receiving no reaction.
What happened in these woods?
It tried, this time a bit louder, but still could not get the attention of the strange being.
Alright, well, I'm gonna take a shit.
As the shadowy being didn't seem to mind, the creature and Alva decided to borrow the pages and stone fragment hanging from its waist, hoping to find some sort of clue regarding the strange place they currently found themselves in. However, as they had a closer look, neither of them were able to make out the words scribbled on the torn pages.
Well, I done took your shit. So, first off, this is the final bit here for the fire statue.
After placing the stone fragment, the creature quickly backed away in response to a loud crackling noise emanating from the statue, lasting but a moment before leaving room for the silence to reinstill itself in the clearing.
Alright, light that up. And like I said, I need to use that chain with the copper gate. Remember this lever over here. Well, this is what I found in that little flooded pit after I made the rain stop.
This should get things moving.
The creature said to the Alva as she emptied the contents of the urn onto the lowest parts of the lever.
And this lets me move the lever. Or lever. Alright, so fire all the way down. This is another one that might take me a minute, but... Okay. Okay, so I've got to get... Alright, so that one's right. That one's right. That one's right. And that one's right. I think that's it. If I'm not mistaken. Yep. Alright. Did a little better than I thought I would. I thought that was going to take a minute.
As the odd pair had moved further into the darkness beyond the copper gate, before the small creature's eyes had adjusted to the shadows, the Alva had suddenly been grabbed from its shoulder. A gigantic shape had picked up the helpless Alva and placed her inside a glass sphere strung up from the ceiling. 3 beings slowly emerged from the darkness, who didn't seem at all interested in the small creature standing before them, and appeared to be squabbling with one another.
Look at it. Look at it.
The fat-nosed troll chanted, enthusiastically pointing at the Alva with one of his chubby fingers.
It looks so yummy. Let me chew it a bit and I'll let you two know what it tastes like.
The fat-nosed troll made a guttural sound, spouting and drooling saliva as he mustered all his strength in an effort to grab the Alva. But the slim-nosed troll quickly gripped the glass sphere with his long, nimble fingers, keeping it out of the fat-nosed troll's reach.
The shiny one is doing fine right here in my ball. I found it. It's mine. Swallowing my shinies will be the last thing you do before I got you like a little fishy.
Burger Kangan bellowed, immediately bringing the argument to a halt.
I'm thinking.
He then continued, letting out a troubled sigh. Irritated by being interrupted, the slim-nosed troll quickly retorted.
Thinking? That's all you do. We have been sitting here for so long. I don't even know why we came to this place. I say we leave and take the shinies with us.
Burger Kangan slowly turned his head towards the slim-nosed troll, giving him a dreadful glare. The slim-nosed troll responded, with his nose pointing upward.
Do what you want then. Search some more. Go ahead. You'll never find it here, whatever it is you're looking for. I, however, have that which I desire right here.
He carried on as he gave the glass sphere a mischievous poke, making the Alva tumble around inside.
Alright, so this is the last chapter of the game. And obviously you have to rescue your little friend from peril, so let's see what we can interact with here.
Out of curiosity, the creature picked up the strap to have a look at it. Recognizing the fine condition of the leather, it decided to keep it.
Hello? Let her come down to me, please.
The small creature tried, receiving no answer from the troll.
Hello? Let her come down to me, please.
The small creature tried, receiving no answer from Burger Kungan.
Man, I don't think any of them talked to you at first.
Hello? Let her come down to me, please.
The small creature tried, receiving no answer from the troll.
Alright.
As the creature moved across the chamber, 1 out of 4 similar altars carved out of the cave floor seemed to respond to its presence, faint whispers breaking through the silence of the cave. On a throne of 8, the golden wheel governs the day.
Alright, these are hints for a puzzle later.
As equals 2 walk beside one another in light, 5 acknowledge their place. Six remain shrouded, inhabiting the moonless night. Lowliest of all remains the Earth Dweller, ambition stifled by the wheel's light.
Alright, so.
You dummy. Of course you'd go and break it.
The fat-nosed troll exclaimed.
Don't raise your voice to me, you moronic glutton. I found it. I'll break it if I want to.
The slim-nosed troll grunted. Enough! Burger Kungan roared.
What's done is done. We all get 1 piece each of this trivial ball. End of discussion. There are more important things to attend to. I should have thought twice before bringing you two along on this expedition.
The slim-nosed troll mumbled something inaudible in response, bringing the conflict to an end.
Now, the rumors about treasure inside this hill is behind the Copper Gate, and you can see behind. I mean, clearly that assessment is correct, but, you know, it's kind of guarded by 3 trolls that you'd probably rather not deal with, so. Well, that's just charming. I think you can keep that.
The spit looked to be fairly clear, considering its origin.
Alright. Now, it says that this cup corrupts whatever gets poured into it, and I realize that this is way too early to be able to figure this out, but in the interest of expediency.
The small creature bent down and scooped up some of the spit into the cup of Sigrid. Suddenly, the mucus had turned green, and instead of water, now flowed a putrid, endless stream of poison liquid.
That comes in handy later. Oh yay, he has glyphs.
The slim-nosed troll was keeping watch over his treasures, making it hard for the creature to have a closer look. The creature suddenly realized it had yet to introduce itself.
I tried earlier.
Burger Kungan gave it a stern look as the quivering creature approached him.
What a surprise. A strange little newborn has wandered into our mountain all by itself. Why have you come here, little creature?
Burger Kungan asked, while curiously inspecting the tiny being standing before him.
To help my friend. We have been told this place can give her wings. They are missing, you see.
The creature said with determination, gathering all its bravery to not appear weak.
Was that the shiny little thing that fell down into the hole over there? If that's the case, I'm afraid you will never see her again.
Burger Kungan chuckled, but quickly returned to his stern voice.
You said you had heard about this place. Tell me what you know.
The creature dared not refuse Burger Kungan's request.
Well, that it once held some sort of ancient power.
The small creature explained in a slow, tentative manner. Burger Kungan sighed in boredom.
Bah! I thought you might be useful, but I suppose it's up to me to figure out the secrets of this place after all. I can't trust these two cretins, and you are no better. Waddle home to where you came from. You will find nothing here, and even if you had, it wouldn't have helped your friend to... what was it? Grow wings? Such stupidity!
Burger Kungan, irritated by the small creature's lack of knowledge, lost interest and returned to examining the cavern. The small creature held out the ancient writings in its hand,
it's on my foot.
awaiting Burger Kungan's reaction.
Have you found something of use to me, little creature?
He mumbled as he began to rifle through the worn pages. Having been consumed by their contents for quite a while, he suddenly paused, cleared his throat, and read out loud.
Ek, Vok, Hauga.
As soon as the echo of his words rung out, two large stone plates had moved apart, revealing a large opening in the middle of the cavern.
Ah, you have done well, little creature. This might be the place I seek after all. Go down there and tell me what you see.
Burger Kungan commanded the small creature, who saw its chance to reunite with its friend.
After you, you fat bastard.
Hello? Are you okay down there? I'll figure out a way to help you out. Don't worry.
The small creature reassured the Alva as it started to explore the new-found cave.
Alright, let's see here. Nope, it doesn't help me. That comes into play later. And air does nothing. Okay. So, I'm gonna take that putrid mixture and pour it on the mushrooms.
Pouring the putrid contents of the chalice onto the mushrooms caused them to pulsate, letting off a cloud of spores before returning to their slumber.
And that's beneath that particular troll, so...
It's cursed! It's cursed!
The fat-nosed troll chanted.
The hunger, the itching, only bad luck comes my way. Ever since I got this piece of glass, I can find nothing to eat in this damnable place, and now my whole body burns. No more! Be gone with you, foul thing!
He screamed as he hurled his piece of the glass sphere onto the floor, quickly picked up by the small creature.
Mine now. Alright. So I gotta go back down here. Alright.
The gemstone was too indented into the rock for the creature to get a firm grasp.
Oh, that's right. That's right. This one up here likes treasure.
The creature suddenly realized it had yet to introduce itself.
Oh, fuck you. I tried earlier.
The small creature gathered its courage and approached the slim-nosed troll.
Hello?
It said with uncertainty in its voice. This time, noticing the creature, the troll quickly grasped his dagger.
What is this? A filthy little ball of hair straddling towards me. Coming for my shinies, you filthy burglar. Keep your distance, or you'll regret it.
The troll licked the blade's edge with a devious smirk on his face. The small creature stood, frozen in fear, not able to utter a single word in response. Realizing it posed little threat, the troll settled down and turned to his riches as he started to mumble to himself.
Filth, trying to steal my shinies. Too many to hide from prying eyes. Need something smaller, something pleasant to my eyes. Something shiny, yes.
Well, I got something shiny.
Seeing the small creature approach from the corner of his eye, the slim-nosed troll quickly turned and snatched the pendant out of its hand.
Ah, I finally found it. I knew a special kind of shiny was around here somewhere.
The troll admired the pendant as he twisted and turned it in his hands before addressing the small creature reaching for it.
Now let's trade, shall we? I get one thing from you, you get one thing from me.
The troll took out his dagger, pressing it hard between his hand, causing it to bend into a crescent shape before handing it over to the creature. Without another word, the slim-nosed troll turned away, holding his new prized possession in front of his face, occasionally laughing with glee as he stared into the reflective surface of the pendant.
Alright, that's fine.
Luckily for the creature, the dagger had been bent at an angle to slide perfectly into the cavity behind the gemstone. With some endeavor, the gemstone came loose, at the same time causing the dagger to return to its original shape.
No, there's something angry there. Oh wait, hang on.
A large, glowing eye had revealed itself upon the removal of the gemstone, observing the creature in silence as it moved about the cave.
sorry. I hope it wasn't me who woke you up.
The small creature said, holding its hands in front of its face, struggling to look at the bright eye.
Bright light, huh?
As soon as the eye's radiant gaze met the ring, an intense beam of light shot out of the ring's jewel, disappearing into the ceiling. Suddenly, a shriek of agony could be heard from the cavern up above.
My eyes, it burns. How is the wheel of heaven's wrath reaching us here?
The slim-nosed troll shrieked, desperately trying to cover his eyes from the ray of light pointed at his face.
Mine now, buddy.
With the troll distracted, the small creature was able to sneak closer and nab the glass shard.
Who goes there?
The slim-nosed troll cried out, as he tried to make out who was approaching him through his fingers.
If even a single shiny is missing, I will find you and turn your skin inside out, you filthy thieves.
Well, you can try. Alright. If I'm not mistaken, because of that eye, that thing's hot, so... Yeah.
Using the old canvas, the creature was able to pick up the hot gemstone.
Okay. Now we're gonna get to the next part that I basically had to madly click the first time I played through this game. You have to shave off the edge of the end of Bergenkunden's tail.
The small creature took the ball of hair sitting at the end of Bergenkunden's tail in one hand and the sharp dagger in the other, as it carefully began to cut a few strands at a time until the tuft of hair came off.
And then you use that with a leather strap, and you make a brush that you can use with a fossil. Because apparently he's a paleontologist now.
Carefully dusting around the fossil, the outermost layer of dirt around it came loose and accumulated in the creature's extended hand, revealing a set of bones sticking out from the cave wall. With the fossil uncovered and intact, the creature could easily pluck a couple of particularly pointy bones from it.
Now, you see this casket over here.
The creature was unable to pry open the locked casket with its fingers.
No, but we did find bones, and of course, in the manner of very bad puns, you have the capacity. Hang on. Okay, it's medium, large, small. Okay, you have the capacity to make a skeleton key. And you have the order that you're supposed to put it on right there.
The creature reached inside the casket and pulled out a dusty old tome, bereaved of one of its pages. No, that's not how it happened.
Yes, it is. There you go.
Are you all right?
The small creature exclaimed as the Alva emerged from the hole. She responded with a quick nod as she slowly stumbled over to rest on a nearby stone.
Don't you worry. You stay there and regain your strength.
As the creature emerged from the hole, it spotted the slim-nosed troll throwing the pendant on the ground, shattering it.
Filthy craftsmen who can't even separate fool's gold from the real thing. If I find them, I shall give them a quick departure from their pathetic existence.
Muttering and cursing, he turned back to rummage around in his treasure pile.
Ill-gotten gains and all that.
The creature once more presented an offering before Burgerkunken. The tome immediately caught his eye.
I recognize the runes on this book. It will surely unveil the true secrets of this place. Hand it over.
The creature followed his command and gave Burgerkunken the old tome.
It appears what I seek is indeed down in that hole. Bring it to me. There should be a way. Take this glass shard. It might be a key part in this. Make haste, little creature. My patience is growing thin.
It's about the only thing thin on you, buddy. Okay, there we go. Alright. So this little slider puzzle and those four little altars I messed with, up on the level above are meant to tell you basically where everything is supposed to go. So